To continue finishing our channel in more pages, so thank you. Welcome. We were talking about the exploration of higher entrainment of what we believe and know to be true, how we understand ourselves within this new reality of ever increasing omnipresent energy, ever increasing light codes for humanity. Every new ascension cycle, we're going to be triggered to something that is not in alignment of the new light that's being offered. It's always being offered from above and within. It's all about how you're alchemizing all that you are as an everyday being of light. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to continue our channeled message from yesterday, and I have notes on how we've been socialized, if you will. And it's all dependent, again, everyone's at a different consciousness level. And every new ascension cycle, we're going to be extending into the higher vibrational mind thought, which is now we're accessing that higher mind. So we want to keep reaching up in higher capacity and of higher vibrational concepts of who are we, what do we exist with, what's really going on within us, what is omnipresent, how is that a new version of we can allow ourselves to expand up into the version of source. Source is the force that's allowing the culmination of all movement within the universe to new evolutionary patterns, new evolutionary growth. Everything is evolutionary. There is nothing but change. And start seeing how we've been conditioned, how we've been socialized in various aspects of our social reality. Remember that we take on social, political, educational, familial, dogmatic, all of those become a part of who we are through our own choice, because we're never taught right from the youngest of ages that we are the ones that create who we are. From here on out, we're going to have to kind of forget everything we were taught, told, and shown, and we're going to have to be the sacred child to know that we are the one creating a brand new belief system. We are the ones from a higher consciousness state. Consciousness is everything. And what is that consciousness? It is the omnipresent that is within all dimensions and all threads and all bandwidths. The consciousness is the omnipresence of the greater mind of God, the all-knowing God. Because at every level of dimension, God knows what's needed. God knows what aspects of light need what. That's why there's certain beings within the galactic federations, within the very highest of dimensions. I had a little thought yesterday. I said, well, how do the 12th dimension creators that are moving into the 13th dimension, what is their role? They play a creative role of the templates of the Divine Father's plan and mother in the nourishment of that plan and the nourishment of all life within it, that plan. So they offer, it's a higher fluidity of light codes and light consciousness. Those creators are the codes that are needed to support the Divine Father's plan. And then it cascades down to the very lowest of the dimensions. So it rolls out always from the highest, and because obviously Source knows what Source needs for new creative timelines. And because there is so many different people, different humans and different levels of consciousness, and again, we have to keep in mind, which is, part of the exciting thing, but it's also going to be part of the challenge, is that DNA allocation, which is new unto itself, and I'm the only one that talks about it, but the understanding of DNA allocation and how that affects how it operates in a social environment. There's a lot going on in the collective energies. As I said in my last video, 2 videos ago, the energy of our Earth right now, because we're entering into new omnipresent, is more galactic and celestial. So you will be triggered as we're seeing what's happening on our planet, the things that are not unified, the things that are not in unity consciousness of all aspects of creator life. Celestials, alien, how many different alien species are there? The various aspects of our own life on our own planet. We're seeing those aspects of what are my discriminations, what do I hold, where are my judgments on that? Again, we are made up of everything that we've been taught, told, and entrained in a lower vibrational 3D consciousness. Social, dogmatic, educational, medical, religious systems and religious sectors, and all of those things, our health and wellness, our beauty concepts, what do we define as beauty? What do we define as intelligent? It's all changing to a higher level of light. Now, the light constructs are there. The 5D templates are there because the 12th dimensional creators, they trickle down through the higher dimension down to us, and why we have guides that assist us in the journey, because we're meant to be reaching up and sorting out who are we, what do we exist within, what's going on within us. And what guides are we calling upon in whatever dimensions that in that ascension cycle, say this ascension cycle, I'm going to be accessing more of my celestial alien gifts, audible psychic abilities, tapping into other dimensions and other planets. So they're refining many of my celestial gifts. I've often talked about my interfacing within the field. So I have to practice being more refined with those gifts. And then how do I interpret it? So I'm practicing these things with you in these videos. So be patient with me if sometimes I'm trying to find the words for things that are new to me. And then I'm pausing for a little bit to see how much I can say to the collective, because there will be things that the collective won't be ready to hear. So I have to just keep asking as I'm speaking, how much, can I say? Those of you that have been on the ascension path for a while, I can say some of these things because you won't be triggered, because we've been talking about celestials and aliens and our light ships. We've been talking about these things for about 15 years now. So you're all used to me. But the newer people that are new to consciousness, the newer people that are new to opening up to a grander version of higher consciousness, they might not be aware of the expansiveness that we talk about in these classes, which is all about higher consciousness, unity consciousness, exploring who we are as Source Creator. It is always about ascension. Ascension is the exploration of consciousness within the omnipresent. The omnipresent is the ever-eternal mind of Mother, Father, Source. Source Creator is the creator of all creational life within this universe. We're going to keep it to this universe. This creational universe is allowing us to explore higher realms that are expanded in who we are. Energies we're going into are offering us codes that are showing us back in omnipresence that are a lot more celestial. So those celestial and alien codes will, because it's new, because we're coming out of a very low vibrational 3D, separative, discriminatory, really low consciousness reality, and we're going to be triggered by higher purified light, and it will be more celestial and alien. And so in that way, it will activate the gifts and skills that you have, as we talked about in our videos, 2 videos ago, about practicing those gifts so that you can be in a meshment and a matching with the more celestial galactic codes. Because at a 5D level and higher, every communication that occurs in the multiverse is telepathic. Every level of communication is sensory, higher vibrational sensorial skills. And why we have to review, what am I going through right now? How am I seeing my reality in different ways? What is the omnipresence, so that I can expand my consciousness and I can start communicating, expressing, interpreting the 3 E's, the 4th and the 5th E, so that you can become a higher version of you as a multi-vibrational creational expression. And that expression, because it's from the 5D and up, it's going to be higher sensorial, which will include multi-dimensional enhancements of the brain functioning. The brain has to function differently because it's going to be functioning more multi-dimensionally. It's going to be functioning in greater ways that are conceptual. It's not going to be linear. It's not going to be a boxed-in experience. It's not going to be past, present, future. It's very conceptually fluid. It's going to be very omnipresent, what you're feeling right now, and you can pull information from an 8th dimensional experience, depending on the interfacing and your consciousness. If you're practicing your channeling and you're practicing with downloading and unpacking what's in your field, unpacking what your teams are giving you, you're practicing your gifts, and you do it on a regular basis. They've shown me this before. Part of that DNA allocation is when you get an activation and you're on that new ascension spiral, part of that DNA allocation might have you tap into at your highest level of joy and alignment of light of who you are, and you're expressing that joy of who you are. You're expressing the genuine, authentic version of you. Why we've talked about genuine, authentic, raw knowing of who you are, because it helps you reach higher, because that's who you're meant to be. I'm meant to be talking about things that aren't normally talked about or discussed, because I'm here to present new ideas to the planet. I'm here to present new energies to the planet. Thank you, Kudo. Yesterday at the beginning of our video, there was a lot of people using the chat room for a dating space. So do feel free to, this chat room is used for higher vibrational consciousness and questions about consciousness. But if you're asking questions and you're not listening to what I'm, obviously you're just wanting to, confuse the chat line. I've only been talking for 8 minutes, so it's good that you absolutely have respect for the high vibrational teachers and you listen to what the high vibrational teachers are saying, and then I ask, does anybody have questions? And then you can put your questions in the chat field, or you can make a comment as my regular clients and My regular clients do. They give comments about how they're feeling and what they're going through so that I can then respond on them. And then at the end, I'll do a channeled reading for those that are with the intention of becoming a higher vibrational being, of becoming your highest and your best. Those are the energies that I'm intending. So those are the energies that I will tap into. Those are the energies that I'm bringing information through in these channels, because I'm not here to waste my time and my energy, which is very important and very high vibrational. And I'm not going to waste it with low vibrational people that just want to play games and throw me off. So thank you, Cluedo. So as they showed me before, when you have a DNA activation, and your DNA activation is done in light, that's how your DNA gets activated. It's activated in light. It is also activated within the 3 E's. If you're expressing something that's new to you, like light language, or you're doing painting or drawing, or you just start drawing glyphs and light language glyphs, like I do. I use light language glyphs as an activation for me. Those are also ways that you can activate some of the DNA, but the DNA is mostly activated by in and of light. And it is activated through Source Creator, your harmonization with Source, your harmonization as the higher self, and your higher self is the guide of that DNA activation. That DNA activation allows you, as I was explaining, if you're sitting down and you're practicing one of your new celestial gifts, say you're doing a channel or a mediumship, or you're doing interpreting light language, whatever it might be that you're practicing of the 5D sensorial psychic gifts, you could say, because you just had that DNA activation, you could tap into maybe a 10% of the downloads you're getting. Remember, everything from 5D and up includes the all. But I'm just giving this to you as an example. We can't obviously put it in exact numbers, but this just gives you an idea. That DNA allocation allowed you that 10% of that 8th dimensional download that you can now bring down, because there's been the enhancements in the brain, because the brain does have to be enhanced to be able to interpret multidimensional downloads that are not understood. The 3D brain is not going to be the same as the 5D brain, and how you're calling in information, how you're processing information. What does it mean to you now in a multidimensional reality that is more omnipresent, not 3D linear? So again, the more that you spend less time on the 3D structures, 3D politics, 3D news, all of those things, will make it easier for you to fall into surrender. As we said yesterday, from here on out, unconditional trust is surrender to your team. So you can start imagining, pondering, and playing with a non-linear, non-structured 5D multidimensional reality. It's going to ask that you reach higher in aptitude and capacity, because it is highly creative, it is highly Christic and multidimensionic, meaning that it's going to have aspects of light codes from other dimensions. As you're practicing your light gifts, understanding that your activations and your alignments as a higher vibrational being come in many different ways that we've talked about. Your alignments can be many different things, activating through the 3 E's, 4, and 5, because that aligns you with the sacred child of who you are within the pillar of light. You're able to call in and then interpret, process, and then express again, because it has to be the infinity. As you're working as a higher vibrational being, understanding the process of evolution as a physical being that is carbon and crystalline, you're going to be taking in more crystalline, because crystalline is the light code. Crystalline, there will be more and more crystalline energy in that 5D substrate in the omnipresent. Those crystalline substrates will activate various parts of your multidimensional beingness. You've reached a certain aspect of enlightenment or consciousness. Everything is consciousness. Everything is your ability to take in, interpret, process, and understand omnipresent source. As we get higher in dimension, omnipresent source becomes more purified and rarefied. And why you have to practice being in ascension, why the ascension process cannot happen overnight. Because it would be the 3D brain that doesn't understand anything about multidimensionality, doesn't understand anything about a few concepts we're going to talk about today, that in a 3D mind it would think, well, that's not possible, because they're in that closed dimensional experience of, only seeing their reality through a box or through a certain window. That's why you do have to go through the various releasings of the beliefs, perspectives, and of limitation from your socio-familial, dogmatic lineage experiences that have held boxes and veils over you to perceive life in a certain way, but that's not reality. Remember, you're going to experience the reality that is equal to your vibration. And what is vibration? It's all about how you're aligning and you're connecting and building that relationship with spirit, because it's all spirit, it's all omnipresent. The more that you're co-creating as an omnipresent light experience and working in that connection with the higher self, that higher self is always going to be meeting you with mind's eye of God, because the higher self is your connection to all that is not linear, not not structured in that dogmatic small boxes. We want to keep reaching up to higher and higher. So we were talking about yesterday, how can we expand the allness of who we are, what we exist, and what's going on within us as the omnipresent. The omnipresent is always interacting with itself. You are a version of the omnipresent. You're a version of God, source creator. Now that we're moving up into a higher experience and frequency, that omnipresent is going to include, depends again, because everything relates to your soul blueprint, where you're at in your consciousness. If you're not doing your 51% of your karma, if you're not understanding how to clear karma, understanding how to transcend the blocks that are before you, the blocks that are in your chakras, the blocks that are in your field, if you are continuing on low vibrational karmic patterns with karmic people, karmic situations, then if you choose to be on a path of eternal light and love and ascension, then you might want to book an ascension appointment with me, because you do have to have a daily practice of transmuting and understanding what you're calling in and what you're manifesting, because it's all on your vibration. Your reality is an exact replica of your vibration. And so how do you then take commandship of it is by the simple tips and techniques that we show you as to how to operate as being a multi-vibrational being, which we've always been. We just were taught and told things. We were taught and told what we needed to experience a very low vibrational 3 separate experience that is in the physical body, but the physical body is still crystalline and carbon. So there is still aspects of every day we can be activated in those crystalline codes that are in every dimension, no matter where the omnipresent is, because the omnipresent is everywhere, omnipresent within, omnipresent without, and as above and so below. The omnipresent is always interacting with itself, but you are the God that is pulsating those new excitementations for your new reality. Now again, if you choose, I'm just doing some clearing there, thank you, Holy Spirit. There's some low vibrational energies there. Now, everything is within the infinity. There is a negative and there is the neutral and there's a positive. Your alignment and living from a balanced heart-spaced center, anything that's coming at you in your day, with the ascension tips and practices that we teach you, just align in your center and allow whatever is coming to you from your old vibrations. Then you get to see life and creation as a minutia of energy of your awareness. Because as you grow in awareness, you're going to call forward higher vibrational experiences. You're not going to be living purely from wounding or from karma. You're actually going to be guiding and being the commandmentship of your new reality. Your commandmentship is knowing who are you, what you exist, and what's going on within you. So then you can start manifesting an omnipresent reality that's giving you back things that actually serve you, not moving in the same lessons that you're afraid to let go of. So that's also a part of attachment. So why you keep manifesting what you're manifesting has to do with your structures, your beliefs, and your perspectives of what I just said, those socioeconomic goals of illusions, education and political systems and health systems and all the things that you were brought up in. And it includes everything of your beliefs. And that's why we do ascension practice, because ascension practices, you can go within and say, I don't want that belief anymore. Please help me release these belief patterns that are holding me in lower vibrational constructs. And then again, because it's going to reverberate into reality, and reality is just going to show it back to you. So there's nobody to blame for what is coming back to you, because there's those energies you have to clear, and getting to the bottom of those core energies of why that is a constant and repeating issue. Then there are those situations, as I've been explaining through mine, because I've been here since the beginning of human existence, if you will, and I've been in many tribes. A lot of the stories that were included in a lot of the discriminations and lower vibrational experiences were because of many of the vows and the practice and promises I had taken with other beings that were also going through the ascension journey. And they had chosen to take a darker path as opposed to the path of enlightenment or eternal light. And so there had to be spirit and source creator step in so that I wouldn't be harmed and forced into those lower dimensional constructs, which is what their intention was. Why they do sacrificing? Because when they do sacrificing, they often don't know it, but sometimes they're operating from another lower vibrational karmic timeline, where for them to control, for them to dominate and have their energy, they join these lower vibrational cults and Masonic groups where they do such dark occult practices, because they're still working through those energies of not understanding the universe, not understanding who they are as multiverse beings, the infinite and the infinite is all, and how to operate as a higher vibrational being, because again, they're not activated in Christ consciousness, they're not activated in light. They're working from very low vibrational, very fearful, dominating, separative, discriminatory belief systems. And then it's up to each person to understand the psyche. Understand the psyche comes with all of your timelines throughout all creation. You have access to all aspects of life through creation, from the highest dimension of the 13th, and all of your soul fragments and all aspects in different bodies, different realms, different planets. And in the middle is you and Source Creator. And why we always say, go within, who are you? As within, you're rippling your within energy to all aspects of you. So now that we're coming to this new higher vibrational understanding as well, we're in a whole different vibrational omnipresent. I'm omnipresent within the inside. I can use the omnipresent in my breath, and I can start manifesting and co-creating a higher vibrational reality, because I don't have to leave God or spirituality or my oneness or my health or my connection with Source just to religion or just to churches. Again, it's been very dogmatically done on a purposeful level. God was only held within the churches or within religions, and it's absolutely not. It never was never meant to be. That's why Jesus, the Master Jesus, came forward as a teacher and a healer and a master of things that were not inside church and state, because we're meant to know Source Creator at a multi-vibrational, multi-dimensional experience. Why he taught a lot about nature in nature, because nature is one of our highest multi-dimensional vibrations. Jesus knew that. When Jesus spoke, he was channeling information from Gaia with Gaia and the heavens. He was always aligned in the sacred Trinity. Everything that he channeled, everything that he brought forward as his sacred text teachings, he was a multi-vibrational channel. He had a conduit interfacing. He spoke the liturgies of whatever he was given as a channel. Back in those times, he was a very higher consciousness being, maybe at a fourth and a fifth dimensional frequency way back when, thousands of years ago. But because they were in such a low vibrational information and only they believed in text from their previous generations, they crucified him and they discriminated him on his outer knowing and his more fluid movement of what Source Creator was. When he spoke of the many heavens, as I do, it is the many multidimensional heavens that are above us in all heavens and all universes. We have access to it. Why would Source only say, you can only know God through a book? You can only know God through this one church. You can only know God through a man that doesn't treat you very well and tells you where to go and what to do. The very misogynistic rule of thumb, if you will. Well, how can that be? How can that be so if Source Creator is for the divine feminine and the divine masculine equally in life? Because there is always balance. It's the number 2 law. So everything has to be of balance, and anything that is not in balance, that has such oligarchic, misogynistic types of belief systems, they will be the most pressed to come out of those beliefs and heal themselves, because it serves them to be very imbalanced. It serves their ego. It serves their belief systems to keep them stuck within a little box that says this is what only God is. And let them have their beliefs. You're not there to make anybody believe, but you're there to offer the highest expression of you, so that when there are those ready to have a higher vibrational experience of all that is creation, then we have these higher entrainments, because we do have to entrain our mental processes into a multidimensional allness, because our brain has been so very low vibrationally entrained, as we talked about yesterday. So the omnipresent Mother Source Creator, Source is the force of all light that is moving towards higher vibrational evolution in all creation. Source knows what's needed at the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th dimension, through this universe, through every planet, through every galaxy. Source knows what Source is doing. That's why it's the omnipresent. It's putting light where light needs to. And again, as I said, when I was having that conversation with the 12th dimensional creators, what are they involved with, and what do they do? Do they wake up? Do they have an agenda? Like, what do they do, right? Because it is liquid light. So they understand, obviously, because they're the 12th, 13th dimension. They understand Mother Father's plan for all of creation. They're involved because of their love and their joy of all of the planets that are moving through Ascension, because the creators are the ones that help put the templates in place. I'm a part of the template creator gods. So I come in because I'm a conduit. I'm a crystalline child, which I've explained before what crystalline is. So if you want to book a session with me for any questions that you have that are more specific about what the terms that I'm using, those of you that have been where, you understand what I'm talking about, because we talk about it frequently and you've been here for so long. So I appreciate you. Sometimes it takes up more time when I have to explain things over again, because there might be new people on the line, and that's okay. Because I'm a Christian child, because of the gifts and skills that I have as a conduit, my interfacing with God, I have been placed in whatever timeline God places me in. It's going to get more and more complex from here on out, and I have to work my way around how I'm going to express and teach and offer, because they are multidimensional things that go on at the very same time. I'm on different timelines. I'm doing different things. I try and let you know what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, because I want you also to get used to being multidimensional is loving and easy, and it's fun. We have to entrain ourselves that way, because we've been so used to being disconnected and distracted in everything that is not spiritual, that is not truly who we are. So we do have to recall all of our energy and all of our light and our reconnection and our relationship with spirit so that we can be as multidimensionally, it's not fragmented. When you're not healed, it's fragmented. That's how I see people that come to me that are vibrational. I'm just saying that as an energy experience, and their energies are very chaotic. Chaos is the fragmented energy. They're not harmonized. They're not doing their practices. They're very fragmented and chaotic. So that's how you know they've been stuck in low vibrational experiences. They've been stuck in very karmic situations. They've chosen low vibrational beliefs, and they're not working with their multidimensional bodies because it's not been taught out there, and that's what they've chosen, right? Everything is a choice. You can choose to work with your fields and your chakras. I've been talking about this for 17 years. The people that have been attacking me have been following me and obsessing of me, but they're still not doing the inner work. They're continuing attacking and trying to pocket watch me to get whatever they can out of me. So they're going to continually be shifted off as I'm going to be moving up and out. Because I do have by free will evolution, and those people and those timelines and those energies don't have trump say over evolutionary plans. They just don't. They never will. No 3D structure, no 3D church, no 3D politician, nothing in 3D will ever trump the highest E of evolution of a soul. Nobody has the right to touch a soul. Nobody has the right to swap destinies. Nobody has the right to do what they've done to me. As I said again, there was so many laws that were broken on the spiritual law courts, the karmic board courts, and the human courts, because everything trickles down. And then it rolls out in the physical, where they're seeing right now that all their karma is coming back, and they're wondering why karma is coming back, because in previous densities it didn't. But now that the light is so high pitched, they are receiving their karma immediately because they have been told. They've been told through obviously all of my videos, plus the hundreds of emails I've sent my ex and everybody that he is involved with. And again, their mindset that they can even come towards me and talk about things and give me their version of what happened. I don't care about your version. I don't give a fuck. Anybody from the in Calgary, I don't care about your version. I don't care about what about now you're awakening to. I don't care. Go through my lawyer, and you absolutely need to leave alone, because each and every one of you are going to get karma every day the more that you try and come towards me, because it's absolutely overkill abuse at this point. You haven't heeded spirit. You haven't heard what spirit was saying to you through my channels, through my videos, through all of the writings, through all of the blog posts, through the infinite emails, through the legal papers that have been filed. Everybody from Calgary and everybody from those organizations of crime and attacking me, there will be charges laid. There will be the unfolding of those experiences, because it is utterly beyond criminal abuse. The thefts and the withholding, there won't be any private meetings. We're not going to get together. We're not talking. Everything has to go through my lawyer, obviously. I don't understand why people would think we're going to meet up and have cookies and we're going to talk about your version of your... I don't give a fuck about your version of your experience. I don't. Abuse is abuse, and theft is theft. Fraud is fraud. The abuses were beyond horrible, and every day I'm finding out more that's happened. We are not having any conversation. God is absolutely cutting everybody off, and everybody will be given their justice. Their justice is to sit in their karma and sort out their karma. I'm not helping in any way. I'm not going to give in any way. We're not going to be friends. We're not going to be buddies. We're not coming back together. There is nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. There will be zero contact. And I will be protected by the highest legions, and I'll be protected by the highest of the heavens. I don't want anything to do with anybody from the past, ever. You've been absolutely cut off, all timelines for all eternity. There will never be timelines with anybody from the past. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. So in this, you get to set, so part of what we were going to talk about today is all of that you've been brought up in the social experiences and how it's kind of made you and molded you. And you get to say, no, I don't want any of that anymore. You get to start afresh every day, because the omnipresent is going to support you. Get in the elevator, push the button, and the universe will support you. The omnipresent, as we said yesterday, is supporting you in that light. Now in that, as I showed you a little bit of it, and I show you on all my videos, because it's something that we need to see in our collective. It's something we need to start talking about and expressing. Just setting really healthy boundaries for those, and each and every one of you will have your different measurements on truly how sensitive you are. These fields hold energies, these fields hold downloads. As we're moving into the deeper fourth dimension, fifth dimension, as I said 3 or 4 videos ago, Part of the deeper fourth dimension is those spirits that have passed on and the energies and entities that can see your light, that understand that you have light, you're carrying light, and you're carrying different unique codes, and they just want to follow you because it's always about magnetics, right? Everything is about magnetics, everything's about energy, but nobody's taught or told you or shown you these things. That's why sometimes you just manifest, as we know, the karmics, the empaths, and the healers. Healers and the empaths usually attract a lot of narcissistic sociopaths because we're just meant here to heal and show them a mirror of healing, show them a mirror of light. But you have to know and set boundaries as to when to close it off and when to ask for that higher vibrational help, because you're never meant to be abused. You're never meant to consistently never receive. You're never meant to be held in a lower vibrational experience just because people want to play with you. People want to keep raping and stealing from you, or elite soul harvesting, which is a thing that we're seeing come out in our collective right now. How much of elite harvesting has been going on? How much of the soul harvesting has been going on? There's going to be a huge dynamic of research so that we can understand psyche healing. When we look at the circle of anything as being whole, elite soul harvesting is many different things, and it's many different trafficking experiences. And so how do we psyche in that experience? So we're going to be doing research in that. And then we're going to be helping teach, heal, and offer expansiveness to all of the counselors and the psychologists and the tricks that we can help bring in a higher vibrational, multidimensional knowing of how to healing at a multidimensional, because it is all about the psyche. And so the soul harvesting has begun from the psyche wounds that they were being refused to let and face. And then they, as I said in my video yesterday, they go into these underground practices, because that's where they think in their illusions, they think, because they don't want to face the wound, they don't want to face who they are in that wounding, they think that going into these groups help them build the power of who they are through dark occult practices. This is why they have systems which is a wrong information, misguidance. How and why they use sacrificing is in misguidance, it's in misuse, and it's again against all spiritual laws, it's against all human laws. But that's why they do some of those spiritual practices, because they think that in their minds that it feeds whatever that wound is they're not looking at. And we all know that in our higher vibrational consciousness and who we are, we understanding who we're becoming, anything that is absolutely coming back to you, you will have to face it. So what they do is they go into more dark occult practice, because every time they see something coming to them, they don't want to face that deep wound in them. So they then go into misogynistic groups, groups that further separate and discriminate, because they're discriminating against themselves by into that wound and facing it and healing it and bringing it into holism. Discrimination and judgment and separation is the opposite of holism. Remember the infinity. So if you're choosing not to become whole and unified through loving yourself, accepting yourself, and doing that inner pathwork at your heart center, then those karmic cycles of the lower realm will keep continuing, and they will get more and more fragmented, because the light is getting higher and brighter and more pure and more refined. That's going to put more pressure on all of the things that you have not healed and chosen to heal. That's why we will be seeing those that are refusing to heal and look at their soul fragments and do the soul healing. Many of these dark occultists, many of these warped masons and warped witches and warlocks that have been doing what I've been talking about, and feed spirit, and you're refusing to do your soul healing, they will get more and more aggressive and assertive to feed that demon that they're refusing to look at that wound. Every demon is attached to the wound itself where that wound was created. Whether it's a sexual demon, whether it's a self demon for greed, selfishness, envy, gluttony, jealousy, whatever that wound is, that demon will be attached to those core wounds. And if they haven't healed those core wounds, because many of them are here for so many timelines, they might have 8 or 9 different demons. They're because of the lifestyle that they've chosen, because of the intentional degradation of who they are as a divine being. Remember, who are you? If you work with a higher sense of knowing of who you are, you're not going to do lower vibrations. You're not going to do lower vibrational things that hurt people, because you care about yourself. When you care about yourself, you're compassionate and empathic for all life. Why wouldn't you be? You're in a human body. You were blessed a beautiful human body. You're blessed a beautiful human mind, but it's been taken in such degradation. It's completely separated itself from a sense of self, from a conscience. Because if you did have a conscience of being connected with spirit, as I've talked about the deconstruction for systematic abuse systems, which is all going to be in the research that we're going to be doing about psyche and fragmentation, and how and where they go to dark practices, how and where they go to systematic abuse, how and where they go to various things that further that separation of the sense of self. Some of them, unfortunately, that we about have been directed by the government and other elite corporations and businesses through the reverse engineering, other projects that Epstein was included in, and there's various elite programs within the collective, whether it be dogmatic, medical, governmental, military, it doesn't matter what we call it, doesn't matter what those social structures are, because they're so very low vibrational, they were involved in the systematic human testing and human experimenting. So those things will come up, it has to, because it's low vibrational, it has to be healed. We then as a collective get to reclaim our power every hour, reclaim your light every day, reclaim your voice, reclaim your choice, so that you're not going to fall into giving your power away, being a part of any lower vibrational cults that want you to buy into their practices and their experiences. As I said, in my experiences, I had no idea any of this was going on. I was not involved with any of these people. They were just using my name and my energy in their practices of dark occultism, because they knew that I was from a very, royal, established, high spiritual family. And because I was in my North Node, I am on my path to being my highest and my best. I'm following my soul's destiny. I've been doing what I've been doing for 17 years plus all the other timelines, and I'm doing the healing and the letting go every day. But they were using that energy, they were using that light for their dark occult practices and manifesting, because they didn't want to do the work. So again, in the soul fragment healing, because they weren't connecting with their highest level of abundance of omnipresent, they weren't connecting with their infinity, because they were still living from the low vibrational, steeped, social, dogmatic, political, all those things that was keeping them in boxes and keeping them in lower vibrational experiences. They were using and abusing, through doing darker practices, the energies and the light of others to manifest, because they were obviously living from a very low vibration. Many of what was occurring in those dark occult practices, that is absolutely some of the techniques and some of the tactics they use, is systematic abuse, which is very, very destructive and damaging. Very few people survive because they do a multi-dimensional tactics of abuse. And as I said again, unfortunately, some of it does come from military, because many of the people that were inspired to use such were warped, misguided, misinformed Masonic groups to receive false clout, to receive false ranking, because they don't know what they're doing. They don't have proper information. They're using it incorrectly. They're misusing universal laws. They're using energy, and they don't know what they're doing, and they're just manifesting negative karma. They're not ranked in any way by doing what they do. And I've said this many times, and I will be proven, because their karma will keep unfolding every day. And some of those tactics were from military deconstruction, military testing, all of the things that have been done to deconstruct a human. Some of those tactics were to deconstruct and take the spirit, to have you separate yourself from spirit, have you separate from who you know yourself to be, because they want you in that controlled environment. It's easier for you to give your soul away, to give your power away, to give your spirit away, as the satanic practices do, as dark occult practices do. They want you to give the power to them, because then they have management of control over you. Some of the people, all of them really, because none of them have chosen to heal. The ones that have kept doing, and they're being charged right now for criminal abuses, and they will be found guilty, because the spiritual courts have already spoken, and the monies will be returned to me, and all that was mine will be returned to me. Again, anything that they have done, which we said 6 years ago, is all now returning to their self-implosion, the only outcome. If they had drawn it out as we suggested, if they had done as we suggested, they would be on a path of healing, and they would be into eternal life, but they chose not to. So they will be moved off to lower vibrational, darker realms, and they've chosen their fate through Mother Father, have given them so many chances of grace, and it is up to the karma board. Mother Father are the ones that determine the outcome for every soul that refuses to be a part of making right and doing right. Because you cannot move into evolution. Again, we're not going to have a 3D eternal Earth. Earth will not remain 3D. There is light being bathed every day. That light calls in and is saturated. You're meshing with this light every day. Anything that is not of that alignment of light will showing itself to you as a trigger or an outcome or a tower or anything that's happening in your life, for you to face it, for you to do your 3 A's and move through your alchemy, move through your acceptance of now, and then move into a higher vibrational path of self-knowing. That is ascension. We're not going to have a 3D Earth with old 3D constructs. The constructs are breaking. There's no more 3D Earth. That's why everybody that is 3D refuses to heed and refuses to look at their wounds, refuses to do the ascension healing. They will be shown in our collective, they will be shown in our reality of everyone that is receiving tower after tower after tower after tower. They've refused to see themselves as source light. They continue to give their power away to lower vibrational deities and entities, which again, they have chosen to be that reflection of the rest of humanity that does choose to move in higher vibrational light, because we do need those lower vibrational stories to look at and say, okay, well, how can we heal? How can we look at things in new ways? How can we create new systems? Again, a lot of those people that have those very low vibrational, staunch beliefs of no change, I see some of these videos about all of these, people that are well known in our entertainment world, giving all of these, the titles are, I've never watched any of these videos, but the titles are, this person and this person bashes the woke community. They destroyed the woke community. So there are various things in our collective that are pitting the woke people against the non-awoke. They're just ways to make more fights and more separation and more discrimination. And I guarantee any of those people that have been on those videos, a few of them were, I think, were Mel Gibson, Jerry Seinfeld, and Ricky Gervais, all of these people that are throwing thorns and throwing swords at the woke community. Woke is not a fad. It's just raising your consciousness. Your consciousness is everything. Your consciousness will never go back to 3D unless you refuse to take light on, and if you refuse to heal, you will stay low vibrational 3D and you will stay in the lower realms. You're not going to be given a 5D body just because you have a lot of money or you might be an elite person in the community, but you're bashing those people that do have a higher level of consciousness. There's various levels of consciousness awakenedness. So the woke community doesn't capture everybody because everybody's at a different consciousness level. It's dependent if you're higher intelligent, like myself. I'm a higher intelligent. I interpret higher vibrational light codes at a multiverse experience, and then I express it. I create with it to help others in the community and the collective that choose to be higher vibrational. Higher vibrational is the amount of light that you can take in, integrate, and then you can make part of your everyday life, manifesting a higher vibrational reality. Because our systems are very low vibrational, our systems are very drawn from lower vibrational, broken, imbalanced, everything that we've seen about church and it is breaking. It was meant to break because it cannot stand in higher vibrational light. And as I said, those people that have done such videos about, throwing swords at the woke community, they will be within 18 months in the very same experience of having dark nights of this, because they will be awakened. Because their higher selves were telling me and showing me. So some of those people that you see in those videos about this person did the woke community and this person has done that and that, I've never watched any of those videos, but the titles of it are wanting you to go head against each other. And that's so very aware of the stuff that you're seeing and why. A lot of it's clickbait, right? Again, realign to who you are. And then when you're like a psychic person like myself, you can just feel the energy of what's before you. And then your teams will give you those messages and just trust what you feel. That's why I say what I say and I'm offering what I'm offering, because although I've said for 6 years to this one particular experience of discrimination and systematic abuse, nobody wants to listen to me because I am divine feminine, because nowhere in our social world and nowhere that we've been brought up in, most of 98% of what we see in our outer world, there is no feminine that is leading the way. There's no divine feminine that is a role model. So I myself, in standing in my power, because I know my destiny, I know I work with spirit every day, I know that I'm changing things that have been 10,000 years deep. And it's needed, right? I have a very important in the higher spiritual communities. I am a higher vibrational spiritual being. And again, any of those people that were doing those videos to put down people that choose a higher vibrational consciousness or higher vibrational verbiage, they're going to be going through awakened state in the next 18 months. So they're going to be going through their dark night of the soul, because that is the soul, as you say. Anybody that acts all cocky and acts arrogant, the various communities that were attacking me, all of them are going through dark night of soul. All of them are having their ego breaking. They're going to have everything that they thought was important that they were hiding behind. And that's why you have to go through dark night of the soul, because your ego is saying, well, if I made myself just on the superficial experiences or doctrine experiences or church experiences or political experience, whatever you built yourself around, whatever those constructs you built yourself around, it's all falling, it's all making, that's not who you are. So you go through an ego death, you go through tower moments, you go through dark night of the soul. Everybody's going to go through it. You cannot go through ascension with it. If your soul chooses your self level that you will ascend, it doesn't matter what role you play. It doesn't matter how important entertainer you are. It doesn't matter how important you are as a star or a music player or a politician. If your soul says it's time for you to awake, you will awake. And then everybody that making videos and threw crumbs at the consciousness people to come and say whatever we say as they're being shown right now, because that's how God lifts the truth tellers and the true prophets. Spirit will show and Spirit will lift those that have been living in there conditionally. I've been saying what I've been saying. It's been true. Every one of my predictions are exactly what's unfolding right now. 18 months, any of those 3 people that I've just mentioned, they're going to be going through their awakening. From now to the next 18 months, every one of those people will be going through their own ego death. Whether, again, it depends on what their soul path is. If they want to book in a session with me, they can stave off some of the tower moments. Some of them they're showing me are medical. And that's just how they break it down, because it depends on your ego and what it was putting out there. Your soul is going to send it right back to you, say, no, you don't have any right to dominate a divine feminine that knows exactly who she is and is she standing in her power. I'm being my higher vibrational self that God instructed me to be, Source instructed me to be, Mother, Father, and the Omnipresent, that my higher self in all aspects of myself said, she's a multiverse teacher, let her do however she wishes, she's there for the divine plan. So I'm in my power, so who is anybody to say, I'm not meant to be here? I'm not meant to be given money. I'm not meant to find love. Who the fuck is anybody to say that on me? You don't know fuck about me. You've never talked to me. As I said, I live her life. Not anybody has had a conversation with me in person. I've been estranged from my ex, who was doing most of the abuse and most of the lying and most of the false claims, from Calgary, corrupt cult, satanic cult that's in Calgary, whatever cult, whatever denomination they called themselves, it was all hate crimes, because I chose to walk away and move away on the direction of Spirit. Spirit said move, I moved, because they would have killed me otherwise. Their intention was to take me out. 40 sacrifices on my life, that's the intent, to kill. Because they use and they harvest your light. They use and harvest your energy. They use and harvest your spirit. So that's what the constructs in our reality have been. It's been all masculine created, all divine masculine run and held. The dogmatic systems, the educational systems, the judicial systems. I remember I read this one article of one of the highest court judges that was a divine feminine, and she was talking in an article, I think it was a McLean's article, about the various stalking and abuses that she had to go through to reach her level of judicial court mastery. Because she was one of the few divine feminine that was in a role that was predominantly male. And there was obviously the old boys school. It's very misogynist, so much misogyny in our reality. It's unbelievable. And they do make up unfortunate secret society. They call it secret society to sound really important and special, but all they're doing is just separating and discriminating themselves because they don't know how to deal with what's going on inside of them. As I said again, there's not going to be a person on this will be missed. And if I'm triggering you, go into your triggers. I'm not responsible for how you're being triggered. Every person on this planet will have their ego death. So whether you're not being in balance of accepting divine feminine as a divine being and having her own divine rights to express who she is, to explore who she is, and to experience who she is as God, source creator, in whatever way she wants. If she is a high vibrational celestial being, a high alien being, if she has high vibrational DNA activation, if her DNA allocation is being activated at a high vibrational level and I can tap into the 8th, 9th, 12th, and 13th dimension, I'm going to bring forward whatever I'm meant to, because I'm living in my highest truth and nobody's going to fucking stop me. And if that, you can either do one of two things: stay off my channel, then you don't have to be triggered and you can deal with your life however you want, responsible for your triggers. I don't care. Or you can go and you can start marking out every time that you're on these conversations and mark down your triggers to the core wound. Where is that wound? And heal it. Your teams are guiding these videos because your teams know that at a higher self level, I operate and I have codes within me that activate you, so that when you go to sleep tonight and when you go in your pond and you go in your meditation time and when you actually care about yourself and do some sit down, I care about myself, what is going on within me, and how can I start working out these issues? How can I be a higher version of me? Because I do want to go into the 5th dimension. I do want to manifest from thought. I want to have an eternal light body. I want everything that I want to manifest in the highest vibrational way, in the alignment of the heavens, the many heaven, not a Christian heaven, not a Buddha heaven. It's the many heavens. So get yourself out of the small boxes of religion, because there's trauma there. I'm speaking with the energies of you that are on the line. When I speak to the energy that are on the line now and future line moments. If you're triggered, write it down and work it out. Go heal yourself. These are the truths of 5D. It's not a woke community. These are higher consciousness intelligences. It's intelligence of light. When you get up 5th dimension, you understand at a very core value, everything in creation, it doesn't matter the body form, it doesn't matter the planet, it doesn't matter what they look like standing in front of you, whether it's a Jew or a Buddha. It doesn't matter what their box clothes are, they are source creator. How about you get out of your box of discrimination and judgment? Because they have wounds there that they're not willing to look at. And it has to be looked at. It will be looked at because it will fall and break. And again, those people that have put out those videos, they're going to have to look at those videos in 18 months and they're going to have a brand new perspective, and maybe they'll put out a new video. Maybe they'll start speaking out about their ascension journey, how they had different discriminations about people that had higher consciousness or chose to live life in a certain way, chose to be a part of things in a certain way, but they chose to discriminate and judge them. So then absolutely, your soul's going to manifest the equal level of tower, equal level of mishap, equal level of negatives. You chose to put that out there. That's your choice from your beliefs. You can realign and take on a new set of beliefs and be omnipresent of the equal light. It's up to you. Everything that you see outside of you is a part of you. Accept it and integrate it and work with your alchemy. There's no way around it. There's no way around ascension. You cannot take a quick pill. You cannot pay somebody off in a low vibrational secret society to give you a destiny swap with somebody that's already ascended. I'm ascended. They will swap my destiny. Nobody's going to touch my Akashic records, as I said yesterday, but they're still trying. They're still trying to see what they can take and swap from me because they don't want to face their karma. And God said, absolutely, and the heavens will shake and the heavens will roar. Every single one of those 50 people that were attacking me and sabotaging me, creating false documents, fake-ass clients, every single one of them will receive their equal karma. And many of them will go to jail. And many of them will have karma that will take them out. It depends on that soul and source creator and the deeds that they done. They were given infinite opportunities to make it right, to return what they stole, to stop attacking me, to stop doing sacrifices, to stop doing the black magic and the voodoo and all of the things they've done to destroy me. Nobody has a right to touch my life. I'm a higher vibrational being. I'm here to teach humanity for those that so desire. Those that don't desire off my channel, stay off. Stop coming to my channel. If you attack me to the point of hate and wanting to take me out, don't come to my channel. It's like walking into a door that's constantly closed. The door will always be closed. You will never return. You will never use my light again. You will never take from me ever again. The timelines are absolutely severed. You will not touch me, ever. For the rest of eternity. We're not ever returning any timelines. Why? Why is it really important we get this? When you do a cord cutting, why do we get this? Because we're not returning to a 3D earth anymore. There's no more karmic timelines. Hallelujah for that. For those of us that have done our 50%, hallelujah. I've stated very clearly to Source, I'm never coming back to another 3D timeline across any planet. This experience here on Earth was enough for me never to come back ever again. I love Gaia, I love creation, I love humanity, and I'm doing what I'm doing because it's my soul agreement with the systems of light, because nobody knows what I know, and nobody can offer what I offer, and nobody can transmute and alchemize what I do. And that's really sad to say. I'll probably change and feel differently tomorrow. Because as I said yesterday, I'm going to be as transparent as possible. I'm always truthful and honest with you because I show you the process of ascension. My process of ascension right now is part of the acceptance and moving into higher consciousness is accepting everything for as it was. How much of my unicorn spirit and my rarity spirit was changed and altered by the hate of these people, by their relentless attacks. None of them even know me or have even met me. They have such a low consciousness and such wounding and such demons. And then you just have to detach, and you have to. But someone that's going to be in front of the collective, I have to go through many different experiences so I can teach people how to transmute, and I can create healing schools and teaching systems at a higher vibrational level. Because again, there is so much disparity, there's so much desperation, there's so much anxiety about change. That's where their consciousness is, and I have compassion for that. I'm having less and less compassion for utter ignorance and utter blasphemy on someone but raw and truthful and, a divine healer, right? And for those people that hurt and harm children and animals for their selfish sacrifices and rituals where they don't understand. They don't even want to sit at a table and understand what they're doing. They just want to take and kill and take the energy of whatever they're doing. So hopefully some of my videos get to some of those, and they do have an opportunity to move to eternal life, and they do have an opportunity to learn new things in new ways. There is many of the dark occult on our planet. It's been misunderstood because, again, there was so much dogmatic trauma. Many of these people created underground cults and covens and things like that, and they started to abuse energy because it was a quicker way for them to manifest. And that was just an abuse of energy. They don't understand, completely misunderstanding. Every single one of their souls will bring their tower moments so that they do awaken to who they truly are as the higher version of teaching that I teach. Eventually, if they so choose, it's always free will, their soul will either lead them to people like myself that teach the higher vibrational ways of consciousness. If your soul wants you to awaken because you have another timeline here, here, and here, your soul is needed to awaken. Your soul and your higher self are going to do whatever the fuck it wants to get you awake. Your ego does not have the driving stick on this ride. It never will, and we've said that for 17 years. If you are meant to be in a timeline that is going to be pivotal for something about humanity on that ride, yes, you do have free will. People that I was dealing with, many of them were meant to come on this ride and be an equal creator in 5D Earth. They chose very horrible, poor choices. I could not imagine the karma they're going to go through and not have an opportunity. 5D. There's no, Earth 3D is not going to continue. We're not going to remain the next 60 years in 3D. 15 years 5D. 15 years minimum. Within 15 years, we will be 5D. And in 15 years, we're going to be rewriting all of our systems to be aligned with the Sacred Trinity. That's who we have been. We've been messed up and we've been led astray by very low vibration, dark, oligarchic, misogynistic systems and beliefs, dogmatic, doctrine, education, medicine, all of those things that have been keeping us separate from who we are as spirit. We're always omnipresent. So you can either stay in a low vibrational consciousness, which means you're very dense. There's not a lot of light getting in. You're not working with light on any level. You're working with doctrine. You're working with books and things that aren't really source. They talk about source, but it's not the essence of source. Source is essence, light. It's the quantum energy of all that is God, source creator. You can choose. It's all you. I don't care what people choose. I don't give a fuck. I'm here to offer who I am. I'm here to offer what I know. That's my highest expression because I love teaching and offering source creator. I love offering Christ consciousness. I love offering multidimensional ways where things can be seen and heard and felt in different ways. I love that because it helps activate me too, because at my core, I'm a teacher. I'm a sound, audible sound specialist with language and sounds and sound healing. And many timelines where I'm a sound healer. Many of my ancient timelines here on Earth were about sound healing and the levitation of sound and using sound to levitate, the way that pyramids were built. So there's lots of different things we're going to be learning, but I just wanted to give you guys a bit of, my everyday transition, moving into a higher octave. And with that higher octave, people think that, well, you're moving into a higher octave, your higher vibrational consciousness. As your body is integrating that higher light, you still have to face those feelings, that I have to face those emotions. There's a lot of disappointment about my 3D timelines here. Other 3D timelines that are very great. There's one or two things that I pick out in this 3D lifetime, this lifetime I'm in. Since the time I was born, there's been nothing but lies because of the government programs that I was involved with that I did not approve, I did not sign on to. At the higher level, of course, I agreed to for Source Creator because Source, a part of me being a part of those programs on the opposite end of the infinity, on the higher vibrational way, because I'm a teacher, because I'm a multiverse teacher, part of my higher self and my soul to let me be a part of those lower vibrational human contracts programs. Through Project Stargate and all of the dark occult secret society bullshit that went on. Part of the opposite end of that was for me to teach higher vibrational ways of healing, potentiation, the truth about abusive energy, the truth about darker practices, and then also too, as I gave that light to those timelines, as I gave those light to those experiences and dogmatic structures and the really going on behind the gates, that as the veil is lifting, everybody's going to see what's going on. My predictions was 100% true, as they've always been, because I see beyond the veil. Everybody's catching up in their consciousness. Everybody's catching up in their higher vibrational knowing and their sensing of what was going on, because they're still in their 3D fog and numbness and dumbness. They didn't want to accept what was really going on because they were hidden by a lot of lies and a lot of mistruths, secret society abuses, systematic abuses. They'll be seeing many of those deaths that have been occurring have been systematic abuses and been a part of those programs that went wrong, if you will. So part of that was because I was a part of that program, I was the decoy, I was the bait of light, I was the meat, if you will, that would pull all of these types of corrupt programs and corrupt energies that have been circling for many, many timelines in the abuse of human spirit and source creator. Because again, in those abuses, they collect dark and negative energies and they manipulate humanity to these secret societies of satanic and cult experiences, where it's all still an aspect of source, yes, but they're so deranged and they're so misguided, wrong beliefs, because they didn't know, because there's low vibrational and they're dark and there's no intelligence there, because darkness doesn't have intelligence. Because of that, where they're at in their consciousness, they had no idea that we were going to be bathed with fifth dimensional light, and they thought that their reality was always going to be their reality. They would always be in power. They would always be the dominant elite, corrupt officials. They would have corrupt systems, and they would everything corrupt, as Epstein was, as all we're seeing now. They had no idea, because they were operating in dark, that there would be the operations of light that would be bathing, and those of us that are awake have always been awake. But they tried everything in their power to disconnect my awakenedness, because my role was to pull those programs up and to bring them to humanity's attention, so that, again, we can have proper higher order of court. If the collective sees it, then the heavens can act on it. That's why I was veiled for so long. That's why they did 500 to close to 1,000 rituals to have me blocked and veiled from source. Because once humanity speaks on what's going on in the collective, we ask divine source creator, the heavenly angels, and all of our celestial guides, please assist us in pulling up these corrupt experiences, pull up the corrupt webs of the black web and all of those trafficking rings. So my work that I do when I'm not online is, when I'm not online, I do work and I send light to all of those dark pockets. That's what I do as a crystalline being. I'm a crystalline, as I said earlier, I'm a part of the God template, source creator templates. I'm a creator God. I know how to do my work. I know what I do. That's why I'm always in hermit. That's why I'm always on my own, because I work with the grids. I work with different dark densities so that I send light to it. I break it up as a crystal, and then it's brought into the collective. It then grew its legal processes. They each have their choice to ascend in light or go back in the darker energies. Everybody has their unique free will, and it's only God in that soul. I am a higher conscious teacher, but I'm just giving you the backdrop of what goes on behind the scenes as we're going to see everything come out. But I just wanted to give you, I'm sharing that, right? Because although you're getting a greater light, sometimes when you're in a new light vibration, you do have to face those feelings of disappointment. You know, I didn't want anything to work out with anybody from the past. I had no intention. I wanted to be free I was a free spirit. I'm always like a fairy, right? I'm free, I'm liberated. I want to travel and see, I want to teach, I want to explore, right? I'm totally 3Es. That's the core vibration of who I am. What was so disappointing is that, you know, I'm 55 and my entire life has been nothing but lies, degradation, close to 1,000 attacks. So if I'm 50 years old and there's like close to 1,000 attacks on my life in different rituals and voodoo and hexes and curses and people literally working around the clock to take me out, what kind of a life is that? And I absolutely wake up every day with gratitude, because there's so many people that have it worse. That's why I'm a healer, because I'm here to make things better. I'm here to awaken people that none of what I went through was ever necessary, not even an ounce. And again, all of the human rights violations, all of the financial laws that were broken, the privacy laws, the technology laws, everything was broken. All those laws were broken because these people didn't care. They were part of the white collar crime. They were all in the system. So again, how did one divine feminine chance, when the world is saturated in 98% misogyny, 98% run and created by divine masculine that absolutely are imbalanced within themselves? Again, 98% of the divine masculines are not healed. They have no idea who they are. So a person like me, when the world is owned by divine masculines that are warped and distorted, not healed, that are living in, the ones that were attacking me were very misogynistic, cult-ish type of energies, because they were the power, they were the rulers. So I was to bring all of these people up so that it can be faced in a collective court. It can be faced in the judicial courts of the higher heavens. The higher heavens have said, we've seen your record. We've seen your soul's record. We've seen what your soul has done. And it's up to only spirit. Only spirit will then say, here we go. And then you're moved off. You have to have that say, source, I see that none of my collective, and then you create your 3 E's, get your YouTube channel, start expressing that, because that's when the heavens can come in and assist us. The heavens and all celestial beings and all the legions that I belong with, because I'm a multiverse healer, I do this on a multiverse level, they're always assisting me, but that's why I am used as that experience for God, for Source Creator. I go into the darkness, I speak the truth, I break up the darkness, I break up the density, I say this, this, and this. The heavens come in, and the heavens are watching every day to see who has done enough work to move forward in 5D and who is not doing the work and will be moved off. And that's only to God and that soul. At this point, because there has been much abuse. Because many of you know on my videos, because many of the world leaders watch me, they were all given to do the right thing. And so it's up to free will. If you choose not to be a basic human, of basic human goodwill, you'll never come back into a higher vibrational body because you haven't earned it. You haven't earned 5D consciousness. I teach 5D consciousness, how to heal the traumas, how to heal the wounds, how to make new systems, how most of our things that we've been taught, told, and shown have not been correct. It's where our energy was, it's where our consciousness was, where our intelligence was, but now it's time for something new. Everybody has free will. I'm never going to argue anybody's point because you're wasting my time. You're not going to make me believe in your ways. I am who I am, and I'm here to simply offer high vibrational truth. Take it or leave it, I don't care. I don't care. I'm far beyond that. I do have my rights, and I don't deserve to be attacked every day. I don't deserve to have my finances strangleheld. I don't deserve to have people constantly stalking me and spying me and thinking they have a chance with me when they have, I've said 8,000 times, don't come even near me. Don't come near me if you're sending spies and your minions and your wealthy minions to come and watch me, and you're sending your minions to come and test me, and you're sending your minions to do this, this, and this. I won't be with anybody that does those types of things, be it work, contract, or collaboration. I simply won't. It's egregious behavior of the lowest kind. Nobody has a right to test anybody. It's against your human rights. You don't have a right. If it's for a job and a hiring, then perhaps you have me in as an interview because I didn't apply to work with you. I didn't apply to be a collaborator with you. So you don't have a right to do those things as if I've already applied to you, but I haven't. So therefore you cannot have anything of my energy or my information or my privacy or my records. You cannot touch my life in any way because it's against all spiritual laws. Spirit knows the hacking that's been done on my phone. Spirit knows the hacking that's been done on my emails. Spirit sees everything that goes on. Nobody had 1 ounce of legal right. Nobody. Nobody had an ounce to touch my money. And then they spent that money to do spell works and sacrifices on me to gather more and more people to take me out because they had created so many frauds and crimes with my name on it. And I don't even know these people, except for my ex, which again, I've been estranged for 8 years, no contact. Look at my phone records, look at my emails. I send emails to tell them to please return my money because I go sometimes 5 days without eating. Because it's my money. I told them what would happen if they did what they did, and they still did what they did. And so let them sit in their fucking karma. Sit in your karma. Sit in your darkness. Sit in your court. Sit in your jail. Sit where you need to sit. I don't have any feelings about any of it. Let them sit where they sit. I will never talk to you ever again. Everything I've said has been 100% true. And not one person has come to validate or verify anything. They deserve to sit where they sit and never have another timeline with me. They will not stand before me. They will not take an ounce from me. And that's why each and every one of them are getting karma times 100 every day. They use my name, try to abuse me, to attack in any way. Karma times 100. Things need to be restored. The governments know that. The secret files and all the lies that were told everybody needs same message. So if you choose not to do that, then your karma. That is your choice. I've been very forthright. I know who I am. You've refused to see me for who I am. You've refused to see me as a heavenly being and a heavenly body sent from the heavens to bring humanity to higher vibrational consciousness. You've refused that because of your beliefs, because of your ignorance. So sit in your ignorance and sit there. I'm not here to make anybody believe anything. I don't care what you believe. I'm here for those people that absolutely want to heal and move forward. So get out of my way, as you were told 6 years ago. Stay out of my way. I have my rights and I will be exactly who I will be. And I'm sharing with you the energy that I was going through as I was on this new experience. And I'm looking back at all my 3D timelines and how much, if I'm in my mid 50s, how much of that was spent in absolute illusion, absolute lies because of other people. We talk about this because I want it to be something that every person brings into their home. You going from 3 to 5D, it's about what are you brought up with, your lineage, your dogma, and all these things that is a social construct to you. And every year we're moving around in your spiral of ascension, anything that occurs in your home that is a lie, it affects you moving forward in higher vibrational light because it affects you, your body, your home, your space. So the people that I was around, unfortunately, it's not unfortunate. I need to start accepting that everybody that I've been involved with has betrayed me in some way, either one way or another. The beings that I'm talking about from those groups and from those cultures and cults, it's been nothing but lies from the governments and the secret files and all that crap. Not spending any energy in there anymore. But when you look back and it's all been nothing but lies and abuse. Okay, so when do I get to create the way I want to create now? When do I get to be around people I really want to be around now? When do I get my life? Right? I gave 55 years to humanity. I gave 55 years to Gaia, plus all the other timelines I'd been here that I'd received nothing. I was many masters here receiving nothing, living in less than poverty, barely surviving, but I've come as a healer, I've come as a master, just as Jesus did. Masters and healers and true prophets don't live the life of people that live elitism. We're constantly struggling for our voice because the constructs don't support us. That's what I'm here to change. The constructs will support us because we are the leaders of the way. You will not ascend without higher consciousness. Consciousness is everything. You're either in a low consciousness or in your high consciousness. High consciousness is the integration of light and the omnipresent. That's what I teach. That's what I've always taught. I use God because that's how I communicate with God. God is my mother and my father. I also come with a Melchizedekian order. That's who my family is, the family lineage of Melchizedekian orders, and all the orders that have been Melchizedekian, and all of the masters that have come through the Melchizedekian order, which has changed over time, which is now the system of light, through the higher Lord Michael. There are hierarchies, and I'm part of those hierarchies in many different ways because I serve the multiverse. I know who I am. I'm not proving myself to anybody. I never will, and I don't have to. That was God. This is where God is showing, God is lifting me, and all those people that kept attacking me and refusing to do as I had requested, because it is my money, it is my heritage, it is my beingness, it is meant for me, it was meant for me, and these people stole and raped everything, and they kept raping and they kept taking and attacking. So they have to live now with the stories of what they've done. There will be no connection with me, there will be no conversation with me. Ever. So they have to be told every day, because every day they're still trying to find their way back into my energy. No, you will never have, and through all eternity, there's no more redo for the billionth fucking time. Everybody from Calgary, we will never be pals. Stop your magic, you're just getting yourself into more karma. So that was a part of my expression I wanted to share with you, because it wasn't a sharing that's comfortable, because as a teacher, as a healer, as a leader, as a role model, as an influencer, I want to come forward with the highest vibrational inspirations. Part of moving into a higher vibrational consciousness is looking really neutrally at everything. And now I'm at this point where that was a lot of it was a disappointment for me, because I have so much love for Gaia, I have so much love for humanity. But it was absolutely abused in every way. I mean, you've seen many of my videos, many of my loyal clients, where I've said many times that I don't really have to be here. I'm here on behalf of the devotion of who I've been, and it's been nothing but abuse. So much fucking abuse. So much fucking disgusting abuse. Just because I'm part of the one that's breaking down thousands of years of discrimination. So if Jesus got us discriminated because he was a divine masculine, the discrimination that I faced was 100 times more. His crucifixion was 3 days. My crucifixion's been 55 years. On a multidimensional experience where there's technology abuse. That's why I come with the teams I come with, because I shouldn't have survived. And so now I'm at that looking it in the face and saying, okay, well, wow. Okay, how can I rebuild myself? Because that was really shitty. Right? So my teams have this conversation, well, Joanna, look at all you've learned, look at how strong you are, look at this. And they'll keep building all of these things that I'll see when I'm in a higher acceptance. But right now I'm mixing it. It's like, what the fuck? You know, and every day they're still trying. And it's just like, are you kidding me? Not only did I have to survive that, but you're still trying and you think you can me? So there's again, yeah, that's integration. I'm showing you what integration feels like. Integration is not just hopping into a higher timeline. No, you have to go through the minutia. Because I'm going to be helping heal those children and those people coming up from trafficking. I was trafficked, I was abused, and they're still trying to get me back to traffic me. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. Their consciousness is not, their consciousness is in the same patterns of abuse, of abusing others for money. So that's what I'm facing. And that part of that integration is, okay, well, let's just keep releasing. I accept that. I can let that go. But I have to face the complete and utter disappointment. It's not going to be a disappointment when I'm on that higher end, but it feels for me right now, I'm being very honest, I'm being very raw. It's a huge fucking disappointment. For a master verse being like myself to have had so much joy and excitement and teaching, loving, and to have it completely spit on, stolen, raped, copied, doppelgangered, harvested, sold 100 times, sacrificed another 500. What the fuck? Seriously, this is a level of barbarianism? This is what I say in some of my videos. Any person that acts and behaves that way in dark occult rituals where you're taking and you're thieving and you're raping and you're soul harvesting and you're doing rituals of that, actually sit down with yourself and get a piece of paper and draw out what you do to people. Draw out what you do to people. That's what you're sitting in. You will still. And these people were people that had known me and that I had devoted my life to of truth and honor and giving my entire life to give as much as I can to my children, as much light as possible, and they can move in their highest destiny. And it was nothing but utter. So I'm just at this, I'm at the integration stage of accepting. It's like, okay, well, I can accept it. It doesn't feel very good. I'm being honest. And then tomorrow when I wake up in a higher vibrational light, I'll see it from a new perspective. But this perspective, I'm looking at it right now, it's like, okay, this is part of my integration. There's not going to be a lot of time, like I'm going to come back to a 3D planet ever again. This is why I go through Ascension, because I'm not doing 3D again. I'll come back because I love Gaia so much and I love Mother Father. I love nature, I love the fairies here. I help build the fairy templates, I know who I am as a creator, I know who I am as a builder. I come back for Gaia, I come for God's. As far as what's been shown to me from the collective, it's been nothing but abuse. And it's really super disappointing. Supposedly government and officials and leaders, they're as they've been told, the extinction practices and the extinction choices that they have been making in Epstein-like agendas, those are extinction practices. Dark occults are extinction practices if you draw it out. And they're in their self-implosion. And it makes me wonder why because again, it's their wounding in their consciousness. I'm just letting everybody know how frustrating and how disappointing for a healer at such a high capacity to look and see people absolutely choosing to destroy themselves and take others with them. And the leaders know what's going on. They've been helping create. And there's nothing I can do. Nobody's fucking listening to me. My platform's fucking closed. That's a part of Ascension, as Jesus said. There's equal destruction and equal creation. It's sad as a healer to so much. Doesn't make sense. I pray for everybody that thinks those tactics are a way to your righteousness and liberation, because it isn't. You're very poorly misguided. Yesterday about the omnipresent, that I'm just sharing you my emotions that day because it's a integration that you have to face. It's part of the healing process, facing and accepting the shitness of it. It's been shit for me. I come forward and I give you my best all the time, and I give you my highest vibrational light. I always work my way back into higher vibration because I'm an alpha to do that. But today was a day where I had to face the 55 years of shit, and I said, okay, well, let's redesign. Thank God I'm working with spirit and my youthfulness, so I can gain a little bit of that life back, and when I get to 5D, I can create whatever body and youthfulness I want. But there's still the facing of all of the losses and the damages and the irreconcilable. There's no way that any of it can be, there's no bridge. You know, it was that damaging. These people did that much. And for Source to come in and babysit because it got that bad, I don't understand. It's, again, there's so much that I don't know. They can't show me what had gone on because it was just so horrible. And that's where I'm like, okay, so I have to process it. That's what people don't know about a channeler like me and a conduit, an empath, high functioning. I transmute for the entire collective. I knew I took some of those timelines on to transmute the dark occult energies for the collective, for the children that were abused, for the children that were sacrificed. I was transmuting. That's why I had to go to those timelines. I did a lot of transmuting for the collective. As I said in 2 videos ago, when I was crying in that video, part of I transmuted their darkness. They're going out to do rituals and I'm transmuting it. And I'm the one they're attacking. They just don't have any clue. None of these people have any clue of the damages they're doing. The darkness they're bringing to the earth, the imbalances they're bringing to earth, they don't understand. Energy is energy. You either work from it a negative, a neutral, or a positive, and whatever way you choose with your intention is what you're getting back. You do dark conjuring, you will get dark outcome back. And the manifestation is your karma, however God wants it, however your ancestors, however your soul says, is necessary on your side of the soul. For those of us that are teachers, healers, and leaders, that it's absolutely 100% unnecessary, but it's the ego wounding that will refuse them to come to you and say, let's do this together. How can we make this, how can we make higher vibrational programs for Earth? How can we make higher programs for humanity? How can we actually pay you back, Joanna, for everything you've done and how we've abused you? I mean, that would be the soulful thing to do if you wanted to clear your karma. Not 1 ounce of anything from anybody. And I'm actually walking them through how to do it. I'm holding their hand back to Source. I mean, they're still going to go back to Source. They're just going to go in a very low vibration. Again, there's no 3D Earth they're going to return to. They're not returning to 3D Earth. The Earth that we are manifesting now is a 5D Earth. You have to earn 5D consciousness. You will not come back into a 3D body in 5D Earth. You have to have the consciousness how to manifest from thought so that you're not harming and hurting everybody. What are your belief systems where you go and sacrifice people? What the fuck? Seriously, the planet's going to get a wake-up call. Anybody that sacrifices, what the fuck? Where on any universal law, where on any universal anything, would ever you think you're going to be blessed by sacrificing anything or anyone? What the fuck? You will never earn a 5D consciousness. You will never earn heavenly ranking. You won't. Go back to all of my videos. These are universal truths, and God will lift me. I was a sacrifice so that everybody could receive these teachings that I teach today. And I haven't been given 1 penny from anybody. And they've stolen and raped and used and frauded on every level they could. And white collar people walking around in their official titles have been a part of it. And so their souls are sitting in front of the karma board and the spiritual board and Mother, Father, God, and they will be shifted because I outrank every single one of them. I'm here on behalf of the heavens and I'm creating new earth and I'm creating things that will never have been created before. I know who I am. Get out of my way. I didn't have to. I gave everybody an offer to have their souls redeemed and to work in the higher and greater good of your collective. Universal planetary leaders, the ones that watch me for my predictions, the officials that were a part of taking money to take me out. You were a part of a creational 5D Earth for you to redeem your souls, that I helped and transmute the energies and the darkness that you put into my life. I didn't deserve an ounce of it, you all, from the day I was born. When I finally write my books, I'm going to be writing books about these experiences. I'm going to be writing them in different fashions. I'm going to be coming with so many creative opportunities. That's my higher end of these acceptance energies of my integration. My vibrational integration, I'm actually creating from the output of all this stuff. There's going to be a lot of great creative projects that I'm going to be a part of and calling on all of my beautiful sacred soul tribe. That is integration, though. Integration is all both negative and positive and neutral. Coming to neutral point of acceptance. Okay, well, I got to accept it. Still have to transmute the negative disappointment of all. So I'm showing you what integration looks like. I'm showing you the ascension process and what it feels like from day to day, right? So we're going back to the omnipresent channel I got a few more minutes. I wanted to get this in. Remember the mystical part of all planets that are shifting with creation. All of them have a unique divine soul blueprint within the galaxy, within the universe. Each of them have a unique magnetic pull, depending on where planet sits within the galaxy, to the moon, because some galaxies don't have suns and moons, but each of the planets have a magnetic attention to either the moon or the sun, and how they rotate within the galaxy of the rest of the planets. So we all know. So just as that omnipresent, co-creative magnetic push and pull, the inhale and the exhale, as we're trying to remember, source is all things. Source is every experience of a new being birthed, a new planet being birthed, and what goes on within the planet. Source knows everything. Source knows, okay, there's more light needed in this part of the world because there's a lot of dark magic and things going on. So the 12th dimensional creators and all the beings all along, they help send in energies and help send in beings. They help send in workers like myself to help teach people that we don't have to do this, because you could manifest a cataclysm. You could manifest something, right? So people like us, that's where it's all an integration. It's all an interrelated. Source knows what's going on at every level. And then the beings from whatever dimension that are having those parts of jobs to do, they come in and they assist. There's so many beings across the multiverse that assist. As we said, the moon holds its unique divine soul blueprint, as does the sun. The omnipresence is that which is all things. It is the divine creator in action being offered to each of us that are the artists. Source offers the canvas, Source offers the tools and the paint and the tool brush for us to go and create, go forth and create. That is what Source says to you every day, the 3 E's, the 4th and the 5th. We could never be in of existence of being quantum, because we are quantum. When we heal within us, when we do our healing sessions with our celestials and our aliens and all that we are, we do it from a quantum level. Those of us that teach quantum healing, everything that we do as a healer, everything we do as a magnetic and light healer and a Reiki healer and a sound healer, it's all quantum. It's quantum alchemy. Because it's Source working with Source at different levels of consciousness, different density gradations, different light gradations, depending on, again, where the consciousness of that being is. Those of us that are healers, teachers, and leaders, we will be given more interfacing with Source so that we can see, some of us can see different things in the aura, we can see different things in the collective, so that we can bring teachings forward to break up that density, so that they can have more freedom for that light to get in. That's what a crystalline being does. We break up density, whether it's people standing before us, whether it's I offer a great code, whether it's whatever it is I'm offering, it breaks up the densities of those that are listening now, future now moments, because the light has to get in. Your souls have led you to me. It's a quantum engagement, it's a quantum entanglement. Most often than not, we don't know. We just see that, well, that was a synchronicity. It wasn't. It was all quantumly led. It was all that magnetic experience. So what they were saying was that everything within the galaxy has its quantum interplay with Source Creator, the omnipresent. It knows its role. Gaia knows her role. The sun knows its role. We don't have to do chemtrails. The sun knows its role. The moon knows its role. Everything is God consciousness. Everything is Source Creator. But because nobody's been teaching or telling us or showing us these things, they do very harmful things. Like chemtrails, they do very harmful things, like thinking that a nuclear submarine is not going to do anything. So again, it's very low consciousness. But this is why I have my channel. If it would be open to people, that would be really nice. Remembrance of the pure, authentic version of you, because that pure, authentic version of you is that unique sensation you're pulsing out to creation, so that omnipresent can return it back. That's why knowing who you are, know thyself, is so important. Because as you get to keep exploring this authentic version of you, you're sending out more authentic versions of pulsations to the omnipresent for the omnipresent to receive it to you. Soften within your breath and know that within every breath it's the omnipresent inhale and exhale for you to become a more pure version of who you are in your center, because everything we talk about as within is so without, as above and so below. Work with those concepts. Whatever in this new earth experience that you can work with in every day, any of your beliefs and your patterns that you've been socialized with, remember, you've been socialized in experiences of patterns. And those patterns have been social, dogmatic, religious, familial, lineage, whatever they come from. They've been offering you projections because they're not healed, because their systems are broken, because their systems were brought created from low vibrational, telling you that you're not equal, telling you that you're not enough, telling you that you're not beautiful, telling you that you're not perfect, giving you all of these false constructs for you to have some sort of a measure or a compass, as if that's what you're meant to measure. As we gave you some examples yesterday of those that were movie stars, if you will, and how the management companies and how the promotions companies and how the managers have writing contracts for these constructs for these people to fit within. So again, what are your constructs? What have you been trying to fit within? What things are coming forward to you in your everyday that are showing you that you're not equal, you're not enough? And then go within and heal that. Everything that I've been going through has been that not fitting, because I come as a high vibrational being. I'm not fit, right? So it's part of my accepting. I'm integrating it now. So the more that I integrate, the more that I accept it, then that will be the energy that I'm putting out, and I'll find that higher vibe that will accept me equally as well. And there won't be those negative constructs, because they're sitting in those negative constructs. That's what they're projecting. So it was an equal mirror for us to go through to say, I'm going to accept myself. You do whatever you want, but I still have my rights to move forward. What are the constructs showing you? What compass are you measuring yourself to? Where are the pillars that are falling? Where have you been measuring to that? Again, in 5D, there's not going to be Republican and Democrat. It's going to be a one human family. How about we start there? How about every human being on the planet works as one human being? And then everybody just moves forward as political leaders, as human leaders. Everybody has their unique talent. Instead of being Republican and Democrat, why don't you just be a human leader on your gifts? Because then it's directly aligned with source. You're energy, you're optimizing your light. It runs in the highest efficiency, as the sacred Trinity always shows us. But what's being done in 3D is it's a very waste of time, a waste of energy, a waste of money, a waste of people's money. And then we go into every system, which will be needed if you do the circle. Dharma, medical, teaching, education. It doesn't matter what we go through in the 3D systems. We can see how we can just align it with the sacred Trinity. It's far more efficient. Of course, there'll be those that will fight it tooth and nail, and then you just don't work with those people. The people that want, like the people that I came from, it doesn't matter how far away I move and how many times I say no and how many times I cut the cord and how many times, they just kept following me to force abuse me, because they got money for selling me and trafficking me. And they got money. They were living off my inheritances and my monies. It's for all the lies and all the things that they told so that I would never receive anything. So in all of those situations, I kept moving forward and forward and forward, and it was just the following me to abuse me. I don't even know these people. I've never even met them. But I was the abundance tracker, right? I was filled with light. I was doing my light. I was the one creating all the work and paid nothing. All of my systems are all blocked. All my platforms are all fucking blocked. I haven't received a penny. So how's that okay? So that's what the leaders want to create, is an absolute and utter corrupt world. I'm showing very blatantly how my platform's getting fucked with. I put 2 pictures up yesterday. Within 15 minutes of each other, my channel went down by 20. How can it go down by 20? It should go up as time goes by, right? Because people are, how can you unwatch 20 videos? How can you unwatch 20 views within 15 minutes? There's fucking going on. I'm showing it, it's blatant. So God's gonna move. It's unbelievable. So you are equal in the omnipresent bedding. Remember, the bedding and the enmeshment is showing you that equal, beautiful, you are perfect, you do belong, and you are enough. All of those are your re-entrainment of a higher vibrational entrainment, because you're aligning with a 5D entrainment. It doesn't matter what the 3D constructs are, because they're all breaking, they're all falling. Move into a higher vibrational construct. Why you have to do your ascension path work every day, because you do have to do that integration work. Well, no, I am enough. I'm going to move away from those people. They're nothing but abusive, stealing, and like, what the fuck? There's nothing about that is okay. It's all toxic. It's all criminal. It's all corrupt. And then you have to keep moving away and creating your own life, creating your own reality. It has to be built on you in the omnipresent as the omnipresent. When there are pieces of the dodecahedron that click into place, as I said, they showed me in the teams. They always show me 5 for a reason. The teams that you have, right? So these are the threads coming up from your pillar of light. All the teams that are connected with you in the higher vibrational teams. These are your teams. This is your soul team from, say, 7th dimensional Sirius. And then all of the guides that you have that are from this sector of space, of galactic space. Because they're from this galactic space, they have access to the omnipresent, this universe and this universe. And then they're just feeding you what you need, because I'm a multiverse teacher. That's how I get my information. Sometimes it feels weird and awkward, and then I ask. That's why I want you to practice with your gifts, because some of you in time, I've been doing this for 20 years, so in time, and I've also been a conduit in other timelines, so it's very natural for me to be this heightened. In these heightened energies, because we're going to see those that are not working with their gifts and they're not caring about their body, they don't understand, and they also haven't been taught, told, and shown. Make sure you're getting out to nature. Make sure you're times of rest. Make sure you're taking more times to work with your teams. And as I said in my last video, tell your teams and guides when to turn things down and when to put veils and filters over you if you're getting too overwhelmed. Especially those that are children that are finding themselves. You'll just do temperature checks with the children. And again, we have to be aware there are children of those in the households of people that do black magic, conjuring, and voodoo, and destiny swapping and harvesting. Those children are at an extra, even more imbalance. The temperature check will be needed on children because there's people that claim to be righteous and claim to be community leaders, but they're doing harvesting and horrible things in the black occults of the children. But then again, my platform's closed, so whatever. Everything's being moved. The universe in entirety, the creation seeks its homeostasis. Remember, everything that's out of balance will have a balance. So God's going to call in whatever needs to be called in to bring in that balance. There will be a balance. It's just as we said, if your soul says that no, you need to do that, we're going to call in an ego death for you. We're going to give you a tower here, here, and here. Your soul and your higher self will manifest whatever tower you need to wake up and balance. This is why karma is going to be so much more for those that have not chosen to heed spirit. Right? Mother and Father God know all forms of all creation, of all life throughout all of our creation. What is needed and required. Within the breath, there is unifying. So again, use your breath as the unifying agent of alchemy. The unifying breath is the Mother and the Father nourishing you into higher vibrations. Call in that light, intend that light, and then direct your light for something new. The omnipresent is your home. It will always be your home. It holds all of your secrets. It holds all of your timelines and your songs of what makes you a genius within the making. Because remember, you're omnipresent being made every new. Right? You are the omnipresent breathing itself. The omnipresent is recognizing you. You are recognizing the omnipresent. You're being breathed new in it. You want to be a higher vibrational entrainment. We're not what used to be. There will be no longer 3D Earth. We're manifesting 5D Earth. We're manifesting 5D bodies. You're manifesting a 5D mind. You're manifesting a 5D higher self, connection, harmonization, homeostasis. You're seeking that homeostasis of higher vibrational entrainment. And why we have to go through those changes. Setting boundaries and setting guidelines to rules of engagement for those that contest you. Again, you're going to have to work with your guides on what and how to do and how to operate with certain beings that are continuing their dark occult practice. You can come into a collaboration or connection that is respectful for both. If they are refusing to be respectful of and your needs, and they're not respecting that on your end, but you two respect it on their end and keep giving to you, then you can absolutely set rules of engagement, which are setting boundaries physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually, because some of these people abuse time sexually. Unfortunately, that's what they do. So you will have to, again, book Ascension session with me. If you have things that are going on in the dark occults, or you know that there's been people that have been abusing energy and abusing the life force, some of them that are connected with sex covens and things like that, where they do abuse the life force. And again, they're all manifesting their karma. So let's do a card. Oh my gosh. That's just a little bit more on the omnipresent, and knowing that your social constructs will help you those whatever's in the social constructs. Again, you're not enough, you're not pretty. We're going to be coming up with new versions of beauty, new versions of our education systems, new versions of healing. We have to. And again, those of us that are higher vibrational conduits, our interfacing is going to be more and more with source. Again, you're going to have to give yourself lots of rest time and lots of time with spirit in, again, deconstructing. And I'm showing you what integration looks like. Integration is not just, I've integrated light, I'm already light. Integration is alchemy. You have to have a few days of working through what the hell just happened. That's integration. That's doing the homework. That's doing the work. So I show you days where it's really light and high vibrational, and you've worked through that rough patch. Then there's times where you've had a huge release and now you're integrating it. That's part of the integration process. 2 days ago, I had a huge release of the densities. Yesterday was a high day, and today it was like an acceptance day of, okay, well, that's still shitty, like what the hell? So you have to go through that process. It's not just all of a sudden you're 5D. Again, you have to earn your 5D. What card is this? Oh yeah, I love this one. This one is the visionary card. Those of you that are visionaries, we're talking about our 5D gifts and skills. So this is the visionary card, and I do little light language codes for visionary. And it's again about whatever is in front of you. It includes your oration. So whatever you are seeing from the higher vibrational multidimensional downloads, you then get to orate it in however you are, because many of you are scribes, many of you are orators, many of you are glyph makers from pyramids and times, ancient timelines like that. You're going to be activated and all that. That's why we have to operate and train, practice higher vibrational creativities. Glyph writing, light language, and glyphs like this. Practice it. They are symbolisms for a new 5-dimensional story time. This is why we're coming on and being more creative in our stories. We're moving through the minutiae of how we are transmuting as 3D humans and the 3D traumas and the 3D this, and how do we actually alchemize? Well, you have to do a lot of integration. You have to accept everything that has been done and then realign to light, realign to light, realign to light. And it is a back and forth, because you can't just go straight up. You have to work through the minutiae. And you're being shown different things that can assist you, and they're from the codes from the sun. Everything in our galaxy is an alchemic tool with us. So if I say anything today, everything in our galaxy, everything in our reality is an piece of alchemy. It is the omnipresent. The planets play a role, the sun plays a role, the stars play a role, everything plays a role. So that's part of your acceptance as well. Everything plays a role as you do. You are a unique puzzle piece to everything that is creation. So that is the visionary card. Is also when you're accepting yourself and you're acknowledging yourself and you're seeing visions in your dreams, you're seeing visions in reality, and the things in reality are showing itself to you, like the symbolisms and feathers and birds and all the different things in the same way it shows with you. It's your acceptance that you are a visionary. That's your connection with spirit. Again, what I meant, connection and relationship with spirit. Yay! So we hope that was great, dear lighted ones. We love you so very much. We'd love a beautiful ascension session, creative styling session. We're going to look on our next video about new versions of 5D beauty. We're going to break down some constructs. We love you so very much. Anybody would like to give a donation, book an ascension session, always goes through my PayPal. My PayPal ID is always in all of my videos. I love you. Thank you so much for watching the chat room. I love it so very much when I can just focus on my energy and my wisdoms for all of you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Think about rainbows, call in with light, Mother, Father, love you. And so do I. Talk with your teams, talk with your guides, and with you. We love you. Bye. Rainbow kisses.